Hi there, I'm Michael Bovee with Consumer Recovery Network. Thanks for tuning into our YouTube channel, DebtBytes. Today, I'm going to talk about zombie debt. It's scary. So, look, the definition, or what most of us consumer advocates refer to as zombie debt, is debt that really can't hurt you. So it's kind of a misnomer because zombies kill right now. So what you're looking at is a condition where your debt is old enough, it's gone unpaid long enough to where in your state there's a limitation on how long a debt collector or a creditor can use the courts in their efforts to collect from you. It's a statute of limitations to bring that collection action in the court. As soon as that time's up, then some of the teeth, in fact the vast majority of the teeth, are removed from a debt collector. If you consider a debt collector a barking dog, then they've got all this teeth when they can sue you and cause a lot of harm in your life. When you remove those teeth, they are just a barking dog and they're going to bump their gums. What they've got left, in most cases, in most states, the statute of limitations on average is around 4 years, okay? But there are some with 6 years and even longer. When the limitation for this debt that's unpaid, that is likely appearing on your credit report, has passed, which for, say, credit card debt, most types of debt, is going to be 7 to 7.5 years from when you stopped making those payments. That is the last line in the sand, really. I mean, it's the last thing that a debt collector can leverage to try and get you to pay, because in a lot of cases, especially with mortgages and things like that, you're not going to be able to get and accomplish your goal, get that loan approved with unresolved collections. So, zombie debt is often something we refer to as past those timelines. They cannot sue you legitimately anyway in the courts, and it's no longer able to appear on your credit report legitimately because of time lapsing as well. So, that's what zombie debt is. What do you do about zombie debt? Well, don't freak out, because now you know that there's not a lot that they can do to you. When you are hearing from debt collectors on debts that are really old, right? So let's assume for a moment we're talking about 8-year-old debt because it's off your credit report and it more than likely is not something you can be sued on in your state any longer. So you have options. One, understand that they can contact you. They can write to you. It's not illegal. They have the opportunity to reach out to you. The debt doesn't go away. It's just there's not a lot they can force you to do or leverage you to pay. So here is when oftentimes, and there's a page on my website where I talk about this thoroughly and have for years, there's an ongoing discussion on that page in the comments, that your ability to ask and or tell, really, because it's your legal right, a debt collector to cease all communication with you can't backfire. If you can still be sued and you tell a debt collector in writing or verbally to no longer contact you in any way, shape, or form, you leave them the opportunity, the only opportunity they have to communicate with you to try and collect is in the courts. But if they can't do that anymore because the statute of limitations is passed, then all they can do is stay on your credit report. But you don't necessarily want to send them a cease communication letter while they can still report, because what if you do have a life-changing event where suddenly now you have a different goal and you need that to show resolved, or you want to negotiate a really good payoff, a settlement? You don't necessarily want to have a history of saying, no, go away. Or you don't necessarily want to have a dispute on your credit report about that, because that can impede your ability to get a loan. So I usually tend to encourage people to say, hey, debt collector, go away. Don't contact me anymore in any way, shape, or form until after it becomes full zombie, after it can no longer show on your credit report. You do those kind of requests for cease communication in writing, and I want you to send them certified mail so that you get something back, even a green card if you use that, where return receipt requested. You get some kind of way to verify that they got the letter, and keep a copy of the letter for your records too, because if they do try and communicate with you after that, depending on what form that takes, that's violation, and we want to get you in touch with somebody that can help you with that. So zombie debt is something that I've been contacted by from people over the years. I've been doing this kind of work, debt relief, debt and credit education and information, for a couple of decades. And over that time, there's plenty of people who have reached out to me and said, look, I just want to take care of this. I know that it's not on my credit. I know they can't sue me, but it's something that's bugged me and I couldn't do anything about it, so I didn't, but now I can and I want to. And you can still do that. No, offering a debt collector money on a zombie debt to pay it or settle it or anything like that doesn't necessarily bring anything back to your credit report. That stuff's gone. However, big caution, when you make a commitment to pay something, say you want to settle a $10,000 debt that you haven't been able to pay for 10 years, and the only way you could do it now, if things have bounced back a little bit, is to offer them $1,000 a month and you pay 5 payments and then you don't pay another one. You just renew the statute of limitations with that debt collector for them to actually sue you. Not credit report, but now they have access to the courts because you made a whole new arrangement. So there's some very nuanced things that you want to be very careful about, and they're state specific, when you engage with a debt collector and start to look at reconfirming some kind of commitment to pay or an offer to pay something, and you do that in writing. That's why I'm typically all about negotiating on the phone, but hey, we've got tons of videos on our YouTube channel about how to negotiate with debt collectors and get that deal done and committed to over the phone and then document it afterwards. So look around, search our YouTube channel for a lot of those helpful videos. This one's about zombie debt. What do you got to worry about? Stay away from zombies. See you on the next video.